All right, everybody, hit that like, hit that subscribe. A2D Radio is live, talking Phillies and Eagles. Next.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck night! Oh, this game can heat stink!
Oh, shit!
It's gone!
All right, everybody, welcome to the Sports Hounds, exclusively on A2DRadio.com. Jimmy Rodweiler, Evan Taylor. I'm Rob Brinkman. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, and Instagram. If you miss anything on A2D Radio, download us, stream us wherever you get your podcast, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, iTunes. Don't miss a thing. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. Birds are 6-0. Phillies are in the NLCS. Sixers start tomorrow. By the way, Eagles not the only undefeated team in the city. Flyers are 2-0 out of nowhere, scoring goals. Torts is pushing the right buttons.
That's connected. Comeback player of the year.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm in. Look,
They're in
man,
shape. That's all. They're in shape.
Hockey's fun. Like, it is fun. But so, like, I root for the Flyers to be good. So it's just something else you can watch during the week when football's not on. So I'm all in for the Flyers being good. And they're playing well. They're fun to watch. They're scoring goals. It's fun. Philly sports is fun. We don't get to say that a lot, fellas.
I'm having
Philly
a lot of fun.
sports is fun right now. Anyway, let's get to our great sponsors. We're brought to you by ARIA Public Adjusting. Do you have damage to your home or property? We may be able to help. Don't fight homeowners insurances alone. Contact ARIA Public Adjusting, 813-564-3364. We're also brought to you by All Campus down the Ocean City Boardwalk, right between 10th and 11th Street. Proud sponsor of the Ramp Booth. 20% off for all ATD members. Become an A2D member. Sign up, $9.99 a month. Special perks, discounts, merchandise, special shows, 20% off at said All Campus, and you get the gambling picks from the Money Pop Podcast and Willie Vegas. Our poll tonight, sponsored by Gleason's Bar and Grill, right in the heart of Bucks County, 6700 Mill Creek Road, Gleason'sBarandSteaks.com, promo code A2D, dine in, take out, online, it don't matter. Best cheesesteak in Bucks County, right there at Gleason's Bar and Grill. We're starting with the Phillies. We'll work our way to the Eagles. We'll work our way to the Sixers. Going to 8:30 tonight, a little abbreviated hour show. Now we got some things going on, but the Phillies will advance to the World Series. Obviously, they're facing the San Diego Padres in a 2-3-2 format in the NLCS. Tuesday, Wednesday, games 1 and 2. Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, locked and loaded. I'm going to agree. Tom Arnone, he's in the comments already. He's got Phillies in 7. He agrees. I'm kind of right there with you. It's going to be a dogfight series. I think that the Padres – first of all, I think that the two best starting pitchers in the series pitch for the Phillies in Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. I also think the best bullpen pitcher pitching in the entire MLB playoffs pitches for the Philadelphia Phillies, and that's Jose Alvarado. He's been lights out, dominant, absolutely unbelievable.
Got the second best one, too, in Sir Anthony Dominguez, who's throwing straight gas right now.
Yep.
He is throwing gas, but I still have that little late season struggles in my mind, so I'm not putting him in the category of Jose Alvarado.
I hear you.
So you look at that, both teams have great lineups.
Yep.
There's no way. Both teams field the ball pretty well. Both teams hit for power, hit for average, decent amount of athleticism. But I think the X factor is having the three best pitchers in the whole series being on the Phillies. So I like Tommy's prediction. And Sixers. Phillies in 7. I hate the 2-3-2 format. I think it's total nonsense. I don't think it's fair in any of the sports. Look, you can't have a game 6 or game 7 in a 7-game series without it being an elimination game. It's impossible. And I think for one team, albeit they had a better record than the Phillies or whatever teams you want to put in, to have both those potential game-clinching games series-clinching games at home, I think that's a little too much of an advantage. So I hate the 2-3-2. So they're going to have to go back to San Diego and win it out there in 7 games. And I believe the Phillies won the season series 4-3.
They did.
Obviously, things are different now. It's the playoffs. NLCS, everyone's 0-0. And if my memory serves me correct, the Phillies also feasted off Josh Hader this season, albeit he was on the Brewers at the time. But I remember a lot of balls going over the fence when the Phillies were facing Josh Hader this season. So
and it was
Josh Hader remembers that. We can get in his head. And I can't even say I love Topper to death, but Bob Melvin, he's a pretty good manager too. It's going to be a dogfight series. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very entertaining. Very entertaining. I agree with the poll. I got the Phillies in 7. I agree with Tom Arnone. Jimmy, what say you?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you as well. I'm probably going to agree with most Philly fans. I don't see many Philly fans saying we're going to lose this series. Not only are we playing with house money, we're probably the hottest baseball team in the MLB right now. I know that the Padres beat the Dodgers in 4, like we beat the Braves in 4. But the way we beat the Braves is what I'm looking at. We're scoring runs in bunches. We're scoring runs 6 at a time, 4 at a time, 3 at a time, every 2 innings, every 3 innings. They're coming in barrages. And these pitchers, they don't know what to do. Like Robbie Thompson pressing all the right buttons, the way he's constructed this lineup, the way he constructed the lineup down the stretch, and he stuck with it even when the lineup was going stale, going cold. The way that Kyle Schwarber hasn't even gone off yet, and he's still making a contribution in the lineup. Rhys Hoskins obviously shut me up. He shut up a lot of guys. He had that critical error in game 2 that wasn't even called an error. But then game 3, he comes out and he essentially wins the series for us because that home run, he wins the series. I said it on the Rant Booth yesterday. I'll say it again today. Without that home run, this weekend is impossible, in my opinion. So not only do we have the hottest lineup in baseball, we have the 2 hottest pitchers in Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. Like you said, Jose Alvarado has been a dog out of the bullpen. I love Sir Anthony in the 9th inning. Roberson's coming back off the calf strain. Zach Eflin has pitched in big spots. Noah Syndergaard in game 4 was unbelievable, albeit it was 3 innings, but he was still unbelievable. Now we have our verified 4th starter if we do need it. I don't know if we will need it, but if we do need it, Noah Syndergaard is there. He's been in this moment before, and I know you, Rob, Evan, Brad, me, we've been all over Noah Syndergaard over the past month saying how much of a stink bag he is. Well, guess what? Game 4, he showed up, and quite frankly, I think he could have gone 1 or 2 more innings. But, hey, it worked out in the end. I'm going Phillies winning this series in 5. We will clinch this series at home, game 5. I'm thinking we split the San Diego game 1 and game 2, and then we come home and we run the table game 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, I'm just worried. I want to say that and be optimistic like that. I mean, just the game 4 worries me. Because the bullpen game, it just worries me. They're a good team over there.
Who's the Padres 4th?
I'm trying to get it right now.
It's
Clevenger.
Musgrove, like number 3, right?
It's Clevenger's. They're 4, I think.
What's today? 17th. Yeah. So the series starts on the 18th. So it's going to be you, Darvish, and Zach Wheeler tomorrow. Creme de la creme. Unreal pitching matchup. Run should be at a premium. It's going to be – I think the team that wins game 1 is going to be the team that has the best at-bats, draws walks, sees pitches, and gets into the opponent's bullpen easier. Game 2, I don't remember what they did against the Dodgers. Because Musgrove pitched game 3 against the Mets, right?
Blake Snell, too, right?
So they're going Snell, too?
It'll
who was
probably
shaky
be,
and then pitched well
Yeah.
on the back end of the season.
yeah. And then they put
And then they'll have
Clevenger.
Musgrove. It'll be Musgrove, Suarez in Game 3.
Yeah.
I would
Oh,
assume.
They're gonna go Musgrove Game 2, I think, against Nola. They're gonna go Musgrove Game 2 against Nola. Game 3 will be Snell versus Ranger, and then I think Game 4 would be Clevenger versus Syndergaard. And then if you tell me that we have the opportunity to steal one in San Diego, we come back. We saw how raucous Citizens Bank Park was. Like I honestly I can't see a team beating us at the park.
No.
Just that atmosphere was just unbelievable.
For sure.
So until I see a team even jump on, like the Braves didn't even jump on us. They weren't even close. And we're talking about a team that had triple digit W's in the regular season. They're coming off a World Series title. They got hot at the right time in September, overtook the lead of the Mets. Like all of this was telling me that the Braves were bound for a big run. And guess what? We still won in Atlanta. And when that happened, Friday, Saturday at the park, they couldn't touch us. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Ed, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Phillies they have to win that first game. They have to steal at least one at the Padres. I'm saying Phillies in probably 5, I'd say. I just feel like you're right about that Citizens Bank. I was there. The crowd is crazy. Like we didn't have our backs up against the walls. We didn't lose that first or second. Like we didn't get swept away. Like we were just chilling. We were fine. And like there was really no big pressure put on us. But I'm happy with the result. So I think either Phillies in 5 or Phillies in 6.
Yeah, a big thing about this team is I think not people don't forget, but I feel like some people overlook the fact that they were on the road for 3 weeks, and it just 3 weeks straight before they came back to Citizens Bank Park, and they essentially got their playoff spot by winning games on the road.
Mhm.
Albeit it was against bad teams. They did get swept against the Cubs. But the fact that they were able to secure the playoff spot during a road stretch, last 10 games of the season, B, go down to St. Louis and sweep them out of their own park, game 1 and 2, the way they came back in game 1. And then game 2, Bryce Harper just right off the bat, first inning or second inning, since he's batting cleanup now. Second inning, he hits that bomb, and the Phillies never looked back after that. And then you go to Atlanta, you steal one from them after just coming out of the gates just scorching hot, 4 straight 2-out hits. You win that game, even though you choke up at the end with Eflin, but that's okay. You still get the win. Game 2, yeah, the bats go frozen.
Mm-hmm.
But then after game 2, it was all hands on deck. All hands on deck.
Yep.
You come back to the park for the first time in 2.5 weeks. Friday night, Bryson Stott's at bat, Rhys Hoskins home run, Bryce Harper's home run, and then Saturday, Brandon Marsh 3-run shot. JT
That was
Realmuto.
electric. That Rhys home run was the game changer.
JT Realmuto inside the park home run. That Rhys home run, it's
That's
the
unbelievable.
loudest South Philly's been in a while.
Yep.
It's probably the loudest South Philly has been since the Patrick Robinson interception.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to compare like decibels to that situation, trying to correlate it to the amount of people that were in the link and the amount of people that were in Citizens Bank Park.
There was people's phones are going off. Their what are those? Apple Watches are going off saying like the decibels were too high. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just very excited. I do like Rob. Do you think we steal one in San Diego in game 1 and game 2?
Yes.
And
yeah,
then,
I'm gonna go now. I have David Murphy. He wrote an article yesterday. He covers the team for the Inquirer. I have Wheeler, Darvish, Nola, Snell in game 2, and then Musgrove versus Suarez in game 3. So I guess we'll just have to keep an eye on what they're doing out there, because I think that the Phillies' plan of attack from a starting pitching standpoint is pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Game 4 is your bullpen game where you just all hands are on deck in game 4, and you just got to bash up and get it done. That's all you can do. Darvish is pitching unbelievable right now. Game 1's going to be tough. So I'm not betting against the Phillies in any game Aaron Nola is pitching. So we'll chalk game 2 and game 6 up for the Phillies. Obviously, if it gets that far. We'll say Wheeler and Darvish looks like they're going to match up against each other twice. We'll give San Diego game 1 to be fair and objective out there, and then they're going to play in game 5 on Sunday the 23rd. We'll give that to Wheeler. So I got 2 Nola wins. So I'm up 3-1. Then Suarez
needs to do it on Friday. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, Suarez, game 3 is in Friday. You're probably coming back with a split. Realistically, coming back with a split. Joe Musgrove was a Cy Young candidate for much of the year. So Suarez has got to buck up and get guys out in game 3. Game 3 is the swing game for me.
Yeah. I will be in attendance to that game. I'm fucking nervous.
I'm trying to tailgate for the 23rd. So let me get this straight, though. So we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Philly, 3 straight in Philly. And then we're going back to San Diego with no off day.
They're doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
So game 3 in Philly is Friday. Game 4 is in Philly on Saturday. Game 5 is Sunday in Philly. Game 6 is Monday in San Diego. Game 7, if necessary, is in San Diego on Tuesday.
So you got 4 straight days. Yeah.
You got 5 straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 5 straight days.
Friday, Saturday.
That's ridiculous, huh?
Tuesday. Yeah.
Wait, so
for both teams.
So Tuesday would be October 25th, game 7?
Yes.
Tuesday, game 7, October 25th, yes.
That's insane.
That's ridiculous. Is it just me, or does the American League seem to be getting the cushy part of this new playoff?
I mean, their poster child's still in it, so they'll cater to their needs every single day. I mean, look at today. They're delaying the game, like you said. They're delaying the game with the.
It hasn't even rained yet.
It hasn't rained all day. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. I mean, you got to play.
I think they're hurting the Yankees. I think they're hurting the Yankees with this because the Guardians are underdogs. The Guardians are half doing a bullpen game anyway. I don't know why Nestor Cortez isn't starting this baseball game for the Yankees, and Jameson Taillon's getting trotted out there. Talk about Russian roulette with your starting pitching. Jameson Taillon in a deciding game 5. I know you're at home, but all due respect to Jameson Taillon, Nestor Cortez has way better stuff. And then I don't know what's going on with the Yankees closer situation because they had a chance to – was that a closeout game in game 4 where they just didn't use their closer in a save situation?
Yeah, I mean, Aaron
Clay
Boone.
Holmes, who's been pretty good.
It's the Aaron Boone effect.
He's terrible. He's terrible. And I didn't believe Brad. I thought he was being a spoiled little Yankee brat when he warned me about Girardi. And I said, Brad, what are you talking about? Joe Girardi, they win all these games. They won the championship. They beat the Phillies in 2009. He's like, Rob, trust me, you're going to watch this guy for a couple years. You're going to want to blow your brains out. He was right. He got fired. And he's been saying the same exact thing about Aaron Boone. So I don't know what's going on there in New York.
Oh, that would be so good if they
And you know my opinion on Aaron Judge. I think he's gone. I think he's taking the subway over to Queens, and that's going to be that.
No matter what?
Judge is gone. I think he's going to leave.
Yeah.
They're going to
get. So even if they did win the World Series, you think he'd still leave after that?
Well, I mean, you know my thoughts on this series.
Yeah.
I picked the Guardians in 5. So
damn,
I'm right on schedule. So
if the Yankees lose tonight or whenever they play, it's just going to be so joyous. But like we've been just shit on as Philly fans all year by these these New York scoundrels have just picked on us all year.
They're always going to pick on us. We're just the ugly redheaded stepchild of the Northeast corridor. That's just the way it's going to be. And things are going good for us right now. But you know what? The Yankees are going to – first off, it's going to be a long winter in the Bronx if they lose to the freaking Guardians, who are a good team. Don't get me wrong. But the Yankees with a $230 million payroll should not be losing to the Guardians who pay their players with discount airline tickets and peanuts. So it's going to be a long winter in the Bronx. So that's certainly something. And the Astros, they're just sitting there in the ALCS already. They get a sweep over the Mariners, just wait. I think the Guardians are going to take it. Let's get to some comments here. Comments brought to you by Manscaped. Change the way there it is. Get 20% off free shipping with the code A2D. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw your old hygiene habits away and upgrade your life. Tommy Arnone, we touched on his comment. He agrees to the poll. Phillies in 7. Brian Griffin, he's checking us out on Facebook. He likes the Philly in 5. Phillies in 5. He's like you. A 5 is like a trouncing. Like, are we really just going to trounce our way to the World Series? That'd be cool.
That home field advantage is huge. Whereas like San Diego, yeah, they'll fill their stadium, but are they as crazy as our fans?
No.
I think
No
that
one is.
helps.
They're probably one of the more passionate fan bases out in California.
They're cool.
They're good. They're a good group of fans, but it's nowhere close to what like we saw it. We heard the national media all day today saying how unbelievable just the environment was, the spectacle was in Philadelphia over these past 3 days between Game 3, Game 4, and then Sunday night against Dallas. It was unbelievable.
We do have a Monday Night Football game. Get you some picks. We got 23 minutes to kick off, so stay tuned for that. Chargers and the Broncos live from Los Angeles SoFi Stadium. City of Winners. Thomas Arnone, Sixers on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. Look, the Sixers are starting hot, baby. You got Boston in Boston, and then Thursday your home openers against Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. So you're going to find out a lot about the Sixers a little early on. I know it's a long season, but I'd like to see the team start off well, considering I've been pretty open about my Sixers championship predictions, which we'll put those predictions on record towards the back end of the show. Bryce Blackwell checking us out on the tube. Padres are good, but still Phillies in 6. And he also has the Phillies winning it all. That'd be great. That'd be great if the Phillies won it all.
It would just be such a overwhelming great surprise.
I would be so happy for Bryce.
Yeah. I mean, we're also looking at the fact that it's the 2 monster free agents from the 2019 free agent class between Manny Machado and Bryce Harper. This is essentially which team got it right and which team was you did okay, but you obviously didn't do as good as that team. And I will forever stand on this pedestal that Bryce Harper is better than Manny Machado. Now, I'm not saying...
Oh, he's absolutely better than Manny Machado. Well, Manny Machado is a
defensive monster.
He's a special defender.
Yeah. He's
and
really good. Really good
with
the
weather. It's just a tough comparison right now because Bryce has got the elbow and he's DHing all the time. That's all.
Yeah.
But I'll take Bryce Harper over Manny Machado any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely not saying I'm taking Manny over Bryce, but they're both just really, really good players. Both of them have earned their contract so far, and I don't even think it's close, especially now that you led your team after 3 years on your monster deal to a ALCS series. So the fact that these two have been able to accomplish that so far, it is saying something. Now,
what did Machado get?
He got $30 million less than Bryce, I think.
But
no. So Manny, I think he got 10 for 300, and I think Bryce got.
What's his AAV? I guess is what I'm.
Yeah.
Bryce, every time someone signs, Bryce's AAV looks better and better. Like Trey Turner's going to sign for a higher AAV this offseason than $25 million. Aaron Judge is going to sign this offseason for a higher AAV than $25 million. Like Francisco Lindor is up on the Mets. He's got like a $34 million AAV. Bryce and Machado are better than Francisco Lindor. Not that Francisco Lindor is bad, but Harper and Machado are better. You got 2 guys up in Boston in Bogarts and Devers who are going to sign contracts very, very soon that are going to be higher than a $25 million AAV, which is what Bryce Harper's AAV is.
Bogarts this year and Devers next year. Bryce Harper's making $26 million this year, and he will make $26 million until the 2028 season. And then starting in the 2029, 2030, and 2031 season, he'll make $22 million.
Right. So over the 13-year long haul, it's a $25 million average.
Yes.
Is what I'm getting at. Yes. Okay. And then Machado's is.
But my only point was it's Manny Machado versus Bryce Harper. And either way, both teams, I feel like, successfully signed the right guys that offseason. Like the contracts were worth it for both teams now. For the sole fact that they're both in the NLCS
winning. I don't care. Same time. You can pay a guy $100 million a year if he brings you championships and success in the postseason. It's well worth it.
Yep.
I think it's crazy off these last two series between the Braves and the Cardinals. Like our pitchers really shut down probably the best player on each team. You had Goldschmidt, who was looking like an MVP early in the season, like having a pretty well season. Didn't do shit against our pitchers. Same thing with Aiden Riley. We made Aiden Riley look like he was 5. Like he was no threat whatsoever. I'm pretty sure he was under like 50, like for his ERA, or not ERA, his average. Like,
yeah, he was bad. Also, Riley was bad.
We got to keep doing that. We got to keep getting him with those sliders, because I know Machado has a tendency of doing that. He's kind of like a Nick Castellanos type. Like he'll kind of swing at anything, but he can make contact too. So it's either him or Soto that's gotta, because there's always gonna be that one hot player on the team. So like, I don't know. They gotta lock him down.
I mean, and then Soto, I mean, he's been a major disappointment out there as well. But I mean, he could get hot at any time. I mean, it's in there for him. And then you got pests like, Hung Chi Kim, or
he's solid.
He is solid. He's really good. And like Profar is a pest, can do a lot of different things for you. They're a good team.
Yep. Like me,
Rosca out there in California, he likes the Padres to win the series. So, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised would you be if the Padres won the series?
I'd probably say around
6.
7.
I'd be 6.
6, 7. So pretty surprised.
Yeah.
If the Phillies lose.
I just think that I know both teams are riding on the momentum, but ultimately I just think it comes. I know it's like, though I feel like the 3 games are kind of an advantage. Like if you suppose you win 2 games away, your first 2 games, you only got to win 2 more, and you got 3 more home games. So I don't know.
So you like the 2-3-2. I hate the 2-3-2.
Well, here's the thing: if you do steal one of those initial 2 games, then you do have the advantage for the rest of the series, because then you have 3 straight games at home. Now, the likelihood of beating a baseball team 3 times in a row, slim to none, right? I mean, it's hard to do, especially playoff time. But if you're riding the momentum and you have the best pitching in the league, or the hottest pitching in the league, and you have a lineup that's just clicking on all cylinders when it comes to scoring in bunches, then yeah, if you steal one on the road in either games 1 or game 2, and then you tell me that you have game 3, game 4, game 5, albeit during a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then I'm riding with that. I mean, let's go.
If they win, I'll tell you this: if the Phillies win game 1 and beat Darvish on the road, so I have every confidence that Aaron Nola is going to pitch fantastic in game 2. Why wouldn't he? It's like the Cole Hamels, Cliff Lee effect from 2009 and 2008, respectively.
Yeah.
I feel like every time Aaron Nola is on the mound, the Phillies are going to win. Period. Yeah. So I already have that. I got that one in the bank. I got game 2 in the bank. So if you go out and you can beat Darvish in game 1, it's done. Phillies are going to the World Series, 1,000% guaranteed. You go up 2-0 out there, and then, like Evan said, have 3 straight at home. You're winning in 5, like you said, Jimmy.
But you also look at the fact that the San Diego pitching staff, when it comes to first of all, we have the better bullpen than them right now. Second of all, their starting pitching staff, besides Darvish, they've been shaky. I know that Musgrove's been really good during the season, but he kind of choked up towards the end a little bit in August, September. He had a really, really good pitching performance against the Mets, but he's been hot and cold. And you tell me that Joe Musgrove's going to come into Citizens Bank Park and shut us down on Friday night, Game 3 of the NLCS, the first time an NLCS game has been played in Philadelphia since 2010 when we lost to the San Francisco Giants. First time in a decade. I'm going to look at you like you're nuts because Joe Musgrove, yeah, he's good, but has he done it before? Is he cold-blooded? Is he cold-blooded enough to just totally derail this Phillies team that's just been clicking on all cylinders? I don't think so.
Is Suarez,
Well,
cold-blooded?
I don't know. Ranger Suarez has pitched really well over the past 2 seasons. I just think the moment was too big for him. I mean, you want to talk about a Game 1 in the NLDS. It's the first playoff game he's ever pitched in his life. It's the biggest life, and he choked up. I mean, that's the bottom line. But I feel like he's going to be more comfortable.
John Adda, it's going to be a tough, exciting series. It's definitely going to be a tough and exciting series. Joe Hale, who's going to start after Nola? We kind of touched on that. So we got Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, Syndergaard / bullpen game, and then Wheeler, Nola, Suarez.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you get to a Game 7, absolutely all hands are on deck.
Yep. Are you pitching Nola or are you pitching Wheeler that game? If both were available.
No.
Actually, no. No. It'd probably have to be Wheeler because it is what 5.
Well, Nola's going to pitch Game 6, so then you're going to have Suarez in Game 7, and then you're going to have Nola or Wheeler back him up.
Okay. Wow.
Because Nola's going to have to. If Nola pitches Game 6, you're going to have to win.
Yeah.
Either to close out the series or force a Game 7. And he's your best guy, so that's what you do in Game 6.
Yep.
Bryce Blackwell will not losing at Citizens Bank Park. Flyers do look good, Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Wing calling out Brad. We tried to talk sense into Brad when it came to Phillies versus Braves, but he didn't listen. And he's a nervous wreck. He's a nervous wreck over his Yankees because they're about to lose to the Guardians in 5, and it's going to be a long, long, long winter in the Bronx. Brian Daly's in the house. Check out the Hockey Happy Hour tomorrow, Tuesday. Brad will be on that show. He'll be talking some Flyers. He'll be talking some big picture NHL. Season's in full swing. Dylan Ushler, what's going on, fellas? Hope all is well. Agree to the poll. Padres are hot, but the Phillies are hotter. Philly Rob has the team rolling. Of course, that's Rob Thompson. We call him Topper. Come on, Dylan. It's Topper. The Topper has him rolling. It was a huge weekend in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
The scumbag cockroach Dallas fans, they're back in their hole.
Yep.
Until further notice, we don't have to deal with them. We don't have to listen to them. They lost. I don't care if the quarterback was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Johnson left the football game, arguably our best offensive player, and we were able to still get it done.
Yep. We win Super Bowls with our backups, right?
All right, let's move on to the Eagles. Mr. Wing's comment here. Obviously, super exciting time right now. 6-0, Philadelphia Eagles. You beat the Cowboys. You go into the bye week. The undisputed. I love this bye week, by the way, Evan, because we can just sink into the Phillies and not have to worry about the Eagles until the 30th when the Steelers come to the lake.
Absolutely.
Who knows what?
And injury-wise, too. Like, there's a lot of guys that are
heal up.
Iffy.
The line, Dickerson, Kelsey, Mailata, Lane. Rest up those horses. Evan, how – look, this second half malaise this team comes out in. I'm ready to say it's a real thing, and I'm ready to say that I'm a little bit concerned about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're nitpicking a little bit. The Eagles are 6-0, and they look fantastic for the most part on every phase of the game. But what's going on in these second halves? Why can't they play 4 quarters?
I really don't know. I don't know if it's maybe they're just getting too comfortable. I'm really not sure what that is. It is, for the exception of the Jacksonville game, we've really had kind of all those problems. in the second half. I don't know if that has to do with like just coming back out right and getting to that mindset. I'm not sure. Like, were they just trying to wait for the clock to run out? I'm not really sure.
I mean, if they are waiting for the clock to run out, that's no bueno. I
Yeah.
don't like that strategy at
It
all.
looked like they were playing like that. It looked like they were like playing prevent defense the whole time.
Mr. Wing, Gannon has no aggression in the third quarter. How many naked bootlegs was Rush going to run to that tight end? Where's the aggression and adjustment? I mean, I thought Dallas did a pretty good job at halftime scheming some things to get some things going. Look, especially with Cooper Rush in there, their team's just different when Zeke Elliott runs the ball well. They all feed off him. He does his, eat cereal, whatever he does.
Yeah.
But I know we hate him there in Philadelphia, but he's the pulse of that team, especially with Dak out. And he ran the ball good last night, especially in the second half. And Dallas fed off that offensively and defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas has good players. Like, they're going to remain a factor because I'm not impressed with damn near anybody in the NFC right now besides the Eagles and Minnesota and the three teams at the top of the East right now. All the rest of the teams, they kind of blow. Packers blow. Tampa blows. The Niners are injured as all hell. Who am I missing? The Rams, they stink. Then you have these 3-3 like teams that like we don't know about at all, like the Seahawks and the Falcons. The Saints are still in the mix. So, I don't know. The NFC's weird right now. But, Jimmy, this team's got to play 4 quarters eventually, right?
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I'm not understanding just the outrage in the fact that we're not playing complete games. Like, I get it. It is a bit of a concern, but I'm not screaming from the top of the bleachers saying that this team stinks and it's a horrible win and it's 2 horrible wins in a row and the better teams are going to figure us out, because quite frankly, we're not going to be playing good teams on this schedule. The one time we will play a good team is the divisional round of the playoffs. I mean, yeah, the Giants are 5-1. That's cute and all, but everybody was telling me that the Cowboys were legit. And last night we stepped on their throats 20-0, just right out the gate. And this coaching staff tends to ease off. They don't want to show a lot of film. They don't want to show a lot of their scheme, which I'm okay with. I mean, come December, come the middle of December, come Christmas time, yeah, it's time to start playing complete games then. But you can't be just bitching just to bitch when you're 6-0. The only 6-0 football team in the NFL. You probably have the MVP candidate in Jalen Hurts. Josh Allen's up there. Pat Mahomes is up there. Lamar Jackson he's good, but he has nothing. He has nothing around him. And if he keeps losing games to teams like the Dolphins and the Giants, he's not going to be the MVP.
Look, the Giants are good. I hate to break it to everyone, but it's 6 weeks of sample size. The Giants are good.
They're a good.
They're well coached. They don't make mistakes.
Are they better?
They
than
play
the
good
Eagles,
fundamental defense, and Daniel Jones isn't losing them football games.
When he plays a good defense, is he going to start losing them football games?
Baltimore doesn't have a good defense.
We saw it. This is what
Tennessee
I see with
doesn't
the
have a
Giants.
good defense.
This is what I see with the Giants. I see what the Eagles were last year. A favorable schedule. They're running the football at an extreme rate. But come playoff time, we see that we see we see what you do to beat a running football team in the playoffs. The Bucks put it on full display.
Okay, if the Giants played the Bucks next week in Week 7, who are you picking?
I'll probably pick the Bucks.
If the Giants played the Niners next week, who you pick?
The Niners. The Niners.
If the Giants played the Rams right now,
the Giants.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the Giants, they're playing Jacksonville next week, the Giants are playing the Jaguars down in Florida.
That could be a trap game. Who knows? But I mean, you're right about the coaching. I think they're very well coached.
I think the Giants are going to be 6-1 after next week. They're a good football team. I know they don't have the big names and the flash that some of these other teams do, but
But here's the
It's
deal.
not all about that sometimes.
Who's better, the Cowboys or the Giants? Because I think it's clear that it's the Cowboys.
I agree.
And we put
so right now, my NFC is Eagles, Vikings, Cowboys, Giants. That's my top 4.
Yeah, but we put a spanking on the Cowboys. Like, don't get it twisted.
That's why the Eagles are number 1.
It was really it was like a bad third quarter, but we still won by 9 points. Like 9 points, that's considered a very hefty win. Am I wrong or am I right?
No, you're right.
That's a good win.
Yep.
If you play a complete game, it's probably 43-0.
Look, good teams win games. Good teams win games. Championship teams, they cover spreads. Eagles covered every spread in 2017.
Wow.
And I think they've covered every spread this year.
They didn't cover last week against the Cardinals, but that was an anomaly.
Okay, fair. So they're 5-1 against the spread.
Yeah.
Championship teams cover spreads.
Yes, but
look at the history of the league and Vegas and compare it. It's true.
What we have to calm down with this team is just keep the excitement. I mean, we're 6-0. We're playing teams really, really, really well in spots where not bad football teams, but average football teams lose games. Average football teams lose that Jaguars game. Average football teams lose that Cardinals game. Average football teams blow that lead last night. Guess what? We're not an average football team because we keep winning the games where average football teams lose. Like if we were a bad football team, we would be the Jaguars right now, losing games that you let slip away. We're not letting any of these games slip away, and that's with the sole fact that we're not even like playing complete football games right now.
No, and some fans were talking about this narrative after the Lions game when we all preach patience on this panel, right? So like I don't know, like I'm like at a 3 out of 10 concern that they haven't played 4 complete quarters yet. Like 3 out of 10, and I think it warranted a discussion at this point as a show topic. Now they're still a really good football team. It's good. The NFC is going to be interesting because a few of these 3-3 teams are going to separate from the pack and join the Vikings and the Eagles as the clear-cut contenders in the NFC. And when I say clear-cut contenders, like I think the Giants are playing really good football right now, but I don't consider the Giants a contender to go to the Super Bowl and represent the NFC. Like I think the Packers, Niners, Rams, Bucks, and those teams with high pedigree players that are 3-3 have a better chance to go to the Super Bowl than the Giants do.
Yep.
Because I think you hit the nail on the head comparing last year's Eagles team and this year's Giants team.
I mean, when it comes down to the playoffs, it is really about what stars you have on your team because that every little thing's going to be like under a microscope. You know what I mean? Like you want to have all those star players that have been in that spot. That's why the Rams are still probably Super Bowl contenders because they have those guys that have been in the situations and they're very good still. They just don't play good football in the regular season sometimes. I mean, teams do that too. So.
There's a good comment by Dylan. Dallas fans went from Cooper Rush being that guy to the Eagles beat our backup quarterback. It's always an excuse in Dallas. The ref didn't spot the ball right. This guy was hurt. That guy was hurt. Our head coach stinks. Jerry Jones needs to pick better players. Like it's always something with the Cowboys. Now they're just going to crawl in their hole and go away for at least a few weeks. I don't know who they play next week. I don't really care, but like I would put Dallas. Dallas has a better chance to go to the Super Bowl than the Giants, especially if Dak becomes healthy.
They play the Lions.
Dallas plays the Lions.
Yeah.
All right, so they'll
at Dallas.
Because what do they have? 2 games, then a bye, and then Dak will be back.
If
they're smart and don't rush them.
Yes. Yep. They got the Bears. Then they got the Bears. Then they got Packers with Dak coming back at Lambeau.
Bye week and then Packers. And of all the 3-3 teams in the NFC, I think the Packers are going to have the best chance to figure it out and be a factor. Actually, I shouldn't. It's the Niners, but the Niners need to get healthy.
Yeah.
The Packers just need to not be idiots out there. I don't know what they're doing. Frank Vesby, what's good, guys? It's October 17th, and this Dallas still sucks. Dwight Schrute in the chat on YouTube. Tom isn't an Eagles fan. If you're talking about Tom Arnone, that's incorrect.
Oh, yeah,
False,
I think he's talking about.
as Dwight Schrute would say.
He's talking about this guy.
Uh,
He's talking about Tom Hetrick, who's saying the Eagles will get bounced in the first round. That's asinine,
well,
in my
the Eagles
opinion.
are going to have a bye week for the first round, so false. I was looking at the playoff roster, so right now they would. Well, you don't know who they play because they're the 1 seed. Look, you got Pittsburgh because I know Nate Moss on his show. He's been riding the Eagles undefeated train. Now, obviously, it's a prop bet in future, and it's a little bit silly because they're probably not going to go undefeated, right?
That last
Like,
game, I feel like they would just throw in all the. You don't want. Honestly, it would be nice to be undefeated, but I feel like the heads would get too big. At some point, the heads would get too big. You know what I
that's
mean?
when lights, camera, action goes on your head coach.
Yeah,
Keep him
exactly.
grounded. But it was like 28-1, I think I saw him tweeting like a couple of weeks ago. And now it's down to 16-1 for them to finish the regular season. I guess the regular season undefeated. So that'd be interesting.
Yep.
Interesting little bet. I wish I got on that train a couple of weeks ago. Get 28-1 instead of 16-1.
Yeah.
16-1 seems short for an undefeated season.
Mm-hmm.
Seems really short. Rams will win next week and next Sunday against the 49ers. That would be shocking because the Rams seem to never beat the 49ers unless it's the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Mr. Wing, NFL, most parity I've seen in the league this year. There's a lot. There's a lot of 3-3s. And a lot of teams that are 3-3 that a lot of people expected to make noise in both the AFC and NFC playoffs, like the Bengals and the Rams.
If the season ended right now, who do you have in the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game?
Chiefs Bills. Didn't get to see much of that game yesterday. I watched a little bit of condensed highlights, but those two quarterbacks are unreal.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to say the Chargers. That was my pick at the beginning of the season, was the Bills and the Chargers. But I'm so over the Chargers. It's always something with the Chargers.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're just. I don't even know how to explain them. They're just such an interesting franchise.
They're like the Cowboys of the AFC.
Yeah,
What Stephen A. Smith say about the Cowboys, an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah,
Like the Chargers are an accident waiting to happen. Remember all those great teams they had with Tomlinson?
Yeah.
And they choked it away 12, 13, 14 wins a season.
yeah. I remember
Never did
they
a
went.
damn thing in the playoffs.
They went 14-2 one year with Phillip Rivers, and they choked in the divisional round.
Against the Patriots, yeah, when the Patriots had Rashae Caldwell and
Yep.
those bum-ass receivers with Brady.
So to answer my own question, I think it's going to be – I think it will be Bills-Chiefs. If there is a sneaky link in the AFC, I think it'll be a team like the Bengals that got hot last year.
Yeah, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be good. I was all over them at New Orleans yesterday. But if anybody's going to be like the Bengals were last year, I think it will be your Chargers, just for the sole fact that I think Justin Herbert's a pimp. I think he could put a team on his back for just weeks, like week-long stretches, month-long stretches. And he's probably one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. So I think he will be maybe a sneaky link, perhaps, to sneak into the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, he caught that ball.
But when push
Right?
comes to shove,
Okay, they called it a catch. Sorry.
now you're good.
Then, like, the NFC, like, I don't know. I just have a sneaky feeling the Packers are going to figure it out at some point.
Yeah, he called it.
I just do. I don't know. I look at that. There's just a lot of good teams, a lot of good players on that team.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if it ended today, like, obviously I'm not picking the Packers. It's more of a long-term projection. It's the Eagles and the Vikings, right? They're the two best teams in the NFC.
That was my prediction.
I got Eagles 49ers. The 49ers win football games, especially in December and January. Jimmy Garoppolo does nothing but win football games, with the exception of yesterday when they lost against the Falcons.
Dude, yeah, my Falcons, man. They're 6-0 against the spread, baby. I had them again yesterday.
Championship team.
They'll be fun.
Yeah, I just said it. Championship teams, they cover spreads.
Yeah.
To preface, championship teams usually cover big numbers as favorites, not cover spreads as underdogs.
But yeah, I got the 49ers. Their defense is probably
the Niners. They're just super injured. So of their
they're
22
always injured. They're always
of the 22
injured.
starters they have, 11 of them are on IR.
But all
11 of them.
They are always injured, and they always make the NFC Championship game. That's
I hear you.
That's the problem. Not a problem, but that's the reality. I think the Vikings are a choke. Kirk Cousins stinks.
How about a little facts? Well, they got to get Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook has had a miserable season. His stat line got saved yesterday by 50-yard touchdown to run out the clock. They haven't been running the ball good at all. I don't know if that's an offensive line problem, a Kevin O'Connell scheme problem, but they're going to go deep into the playoffs. They're going to have to use Dalvin Cook and Madison, or both, to get there. Because you know the Niners are going to run the ball. You know the Eagles are going to run the ball. If the Packers want to go anywhere, their two best offensive players are running backs. So, they got to get Dalvin Cook on track. All right, let's we have a few minutes left here. Only going an hour tonight. Prediction time.
Early leans. We pull
You
it
want
up.
to do early leans? We can do early leans.
Let me pull it
College is heating up too. How about that Tennessee Bama game on Saturday?
up.
Yeah.
That was insane. I one of my good friends goes to Tennessee, and he was one of the culprits that tore down the goalpost.
Yeah, he tore him down, huh?
It was.
Did you see the president in like his luxury box, like smoking a cigar? And they asked him, they put him on TikTok. They're like, "Yo, how much do you think you're going to get fined for taking the goalpost down?" He's like, "I don't care." Tear him down. And he just held the cigar like Fidel Castro.
That was one of the coolest scenes in sports I've seen in a long time. I was very jealous of my good friend Kevin Thomas.
Carrying it down the street.
Yeah.
So I bet before that game, I had Tennessee plus 8.5 and Tennessee money line in that game.
Okay.
And right before the game, I took the quarterback Hooker to win the Heisman.
Okay.
He's got to be the front runner now. I mean, 5 touchdowns. You put up 52 on Bama.
Yep. Yeah, that's a smart
I have
investment.
I have so many futures bets. It's obnoxious. Hopefully, I can hit some of them.
All right, so Thursday night, another doozy. New
I
Orleans.
know, right?
New Orleans goes to Arizona. New Orleans has 1.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Cardinals at home here. The fact that we have the Saints draft pick might be seeping into my brain here.
Yeah.
I think Kyler Murray stinks, dude. Like he's not good.
He can't be this bad.
But that's what we keep saying every week.
He has too many
What is their
tools
record?
to be good. They're 2-4.
They're 2-4. That's unacceptable.
But their
For a
whole
guy that
division is 3-3. So they're not out of anything.
And they got one of the best wide receivers in football coming back in 2 weeks.
But
they made a trade today for Robbie Anderson, who things just weren't working out for him in Carolina.
My eyes are telling me that they stink. Like he stink. Not the team as a whole, but he may be playing as bad as Russell Wilson right now. And Russell Wilson's playing pretty bad. Like Kyler Murray, he hasn't shown me that he could just win a football game. I mean, they flat out got lucky against Vegas. I mean, Vegas, they did what all analytic gurus do nowadays. Let their foot off the gas, and it bit them in the ass. If analytics wasn't a thing, the Cardinals would be 1-5 right now.
Yeah, the Raiders you're talking about the Raiders game?
Yeah. The Raiders gave them that victory.
They did.
They should be 1-5. I got the Saints.
But they're not.
I got the Saints. I might get the Saints outright, to be honest. I mean, plus 1.5. Come on. All right. Giants at Jaguars. Jaguars are favored by 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Giants are for real. I'm taking the Giants. I think the Giants are just a better team than the Jaguars.
I might jump on that plus 3 right now because I think it will be a field goal game. What do you think?
I mean, plus 145 on the money line. I mean, that looks a little juicy. If you're into lock, I'm really not into locking things in early, like some gamblers do, just because like a lot can change, and I don't want to be. But you can just cash it out if it's a straight bet. So I guess there's no harm, no foul. But if something fucked up happens, then it's going to cash you out at a lesser amount.
Yeah. Evan,
But
do you think the Giants are for real? Do you think they're going to go down and beat Jacksonville? 'Cause I think this is Jacksonville's week.
I think they will go down there and beat Jacksonville by I feel like by a field goal game though. I can see that. I think it's gonna be real close, but I'm just still not sold on the Giants. I know like we haven't had the hardest schedule. The Giants haven't had the hardest schedule. I mean, what I looked at some stat that said they haven't played any better than what besides the Ravens. They haven't played a defense better than like the 20th ranked, and the Ravens choked that game away. Can we be honest here? The Ravens choked that game away. I'd say like the Giants kind of did earn their way back, but this is like a thing for the Ravens now, just melting down in the fourth quarter. They did it 3 times at least this season. So I want to play them. I want to see how good they are compared to us.
the Giants, you mean?
Yeah.
All right. We got Packers at Commanders. Commanders have 5.5 at home.
Well, the Commanders are interesting now because Carson Wentz, that loser, he's out 4 to 6 weeks. He broke his ring finger. So it's gonna be Heineke, and that's an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz stinks.
Yep.
But I mean, 5.5 on the road.
I think the Packers stink.
Give me Heineke with the points.
Yeah.
I like the Packers here. I wish Carson was playing. That wouldn't be like a fucking hammer time rent mortgage money type of
I'm going to stick to what I said last week. I think the Packers might even lose. I said it last week. They were going to lose against the Jets, and they did by what, 20 almost? Or
yeah, they got trounced. I had the Jets. I was with you on the Jets.
I got 9 out of 11 right on my spread parlay. The ones that we do with John Coyle at All Camper. I got 9 out of 11. Those two were the Packers and the Jaguars.
Well, the key to that when we do that with him, when we do the rant booth, is you got to get through the ones undefeated and then just cash it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the Jaguars and the Packers played at 1. So,
who was favored? The Packers were favored by what, like 7?
7.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Yeah, I was all over the Packers. I really thought they were going to blow out.
I had the Jets money line and Jets spread.
That's a donation. If you thought they were going to win that game, Jimmy, you just donated them money.
Well, yeah, I donated a lot of money to the books.
Yeah.
Thank you for your donation.
Like, do I go with the Packers 3 straight weeks? Because 2 weeks ago they screwed me on my 6-leg parlay.
I like the Packers here. It's one of my more favorite ones. I actually kind of like this NFL card looking at it right now, at least early, which I haven't liked an NFL card in a couple weeks.
I'm going to stay away from the Packers. Screw that. I'm not letting them screw me 3 weeks in a row. All right, Lions at Cowboys. Lions get 7.
It's in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dak's probably coming back.
No, I think they get through a couple more games.
Lions coming off a bye. They're going to be
healthy. I don't
healthy.
care. The Lions blow. I'm off that train. So I think Dallas is good.
DeAndre Swift back? Or
I guess we'll see as the week progresses. I don't have a problem laying a touchdown with the boys here.
Swift should be healthy. Amon-Ra is going to be healthy. 1 week closer to Jameson Williams. The only problem with the Lions are their defense is just atrocious. Like, if anything, I'm probably taking the over in that game. It's set at 48 right now.
It's pretty high. Did I lose you guys?
No, sorry.
Okay.
I was looking at Chargers Broncos.
Yeah, the pass interference there.
Yeah.
Mike Williams' first TD would be pretty cool.
I need a lot of touchdowns from Mike Williams tonight.
Me too.
All right, Falcons at Bengals. Falcons
Dude,
get 6.
Give me the 6, baby. 7-0 against the spread. Why not? They're good. Like, they're not good, but they're like
good. I mean, they quite frankly, they really could have beaten the Bucs 2 weeks ago. Like, I don't think we talked about it enough how atrocious that roughing the passer was. It was probably one of the worst calls in NFL history.
Yep.
I think the best coach that no one's talking about is Arthur Smith down in Atlanta.
Yeah. I mean
you're resurrecting Marcus Mariota. You're running the ball. Kyle Pitts finally scored a touchdown.
He's coming on American soil, first time in 2 years. But he's coming.
Right?
He's coming from that Mike Vrabel coaching tree, and Mike Vrabel very well could be the best coach in the NFL. And Arthur Smith was with Vrabel those few years. So there's a toughness in that locker room. There's a toughness within those players, and their defense is pretty good. I'll ride with them.
+6. I mean, like, they might not win. Bengals are looking pretty good, but
All right, this is an interesting game. Browns at Ravens. Browns getting 6.5. Evan, what do you got?
I think the Browns make this one kind of interesting. It is a divisional game, but also you said it's in Baltimore, right?
Yep.
They have a good crowd, so I'd say the Bengals win by a field goal.
So you got
What do you mean?
Browns.
Oh no,
Ravens.
sorry, the Browns. I'd say the Browns pull out something at the last minute. The last
you get the
second.
Browns outright.
Yeah,
I think the Browns stink. I think the party's over for this Jacoby Brissett.
that's the
backup
run
QB
game. I
tree.
feel like it's the run game that needs just.
If I had,
obviously it's a throwing thing too, but the run game has to be a little bit better.
if I was in the right financial circumstance to be able to just throw out like $50,000 on just a straight up bet, I would have done Patriots outright yesterday, and I would have been really,
Rich.
really well off because I was all over the Patriots yesterday. Belichick going against one of his former quarterbacks, like it's almost a gimme every single time.
Yeah,
With that being said, I think the Ravens I don't know what their problem is, but they seem to be up in all these games, and then they seem to just let the lead dwindle away. So I'll take the Browns with the points. All right.
I mean, okay. I mean, if I had to, like, I think it's a get right spot for the Ravens.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have the futures. I'm biased with on my futures bet because I have the Browns to be the worst team in the NFL. So they got to go on a losing streak, and the Lions and
Texans
and Panthers. The Panthers are dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
So that was obviously the play there. But yeah,
All right.
I like the Ravens to get right here.
We got the trade deadline coming up too, the 1st of November. So we need to make a move on Burns, I think.
That'd be cool. Make anyone you can afford that you think can help when you're 6-0.
Yeah,
Bring him in.
because we're real like. I hate to admit it because I really don't like Derek Barnett that much, but he has probably helped us get a Super Bowl ring, of course.
Starting
And
defensive
make
end.
that-
Like, it's nothing
Yeah,
to sneeze at.
you're missing that right now. You have Hassan Reddick doing it sometimes, but I've seen some guys with names I haven't seen before out there playing on the end. And it's not Josh Sweat, so I'd say go after Burns. Shit.
Speaking of Brian Burns and the Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Bucks travel to Carolina, and Carolina's getting 10.5 points
Oh my gosh.
At home.
at home.
That's one of the more obnoxious NFL point spreads I've ever heard in my life. But
I bet you they win by 10.
Carolina stinks. But
Yeah.
at the same time,
You just stay away
Tampa
from that.
hasn't shown me anything that they should be favored by 10.5.
Mhm.
Home, away, on Mars, wherever. They're just
yeah.
not a good football team right now.
I mean, we joke about it, but Tom Brady, fresh off the divorce, I thought he was going to be the MVP. And 2 weeks into the divorce, he just looks broken out there. Like, he just doesn't look good.
I think Father Time remains undefeated when it comes to some of these guys that are 3-3, and everyone's kind of surprised they're 3-3. Stafford,
But here's the
Brady,
deal. It's not
Rodgers.
like he has bad players around him. Yeah, the offensive line is dwindling, but he still has Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cameron
There's
Brate,
enough there. I agree.
Leonard Fournette. Like they
I
have,
agree.
they have
Their
a-
defense is top notch.
their defense is really, really good, and
Mhm.
they're just. Is it the quarterback play that's screwing them? Is it the offensive line? I don't know. I love this Tom Brady collapse though. Screw that guy. Jerk off. All right. Colts at Titans. AFC South is always hard to bet on, especially when they play each other. I think the Titans are finding their way, and I think they'll eventually come up on top in this division. Like I said, Vrabel is a really, really good coach, probably one of the best coaches in the league. And I think the Colts stink.
Frank Reich might be one of the biggest frauds ever.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, he gets every credit in this city for being the genius behind the Super Bowl, and he goes to be a head coach, and he stinks.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
He made him get Carson back. He was a disaster. Now they have Matt Ryan, another aging quarterback who doesn't look all that great. And I agree with everything you just said about the Titans. Everything you just said. They're off a bye. They have Derrick Henry. I don't know. I'm not into the Colts either. I love the Titans here. Love them.
All right. Primetime game, or not primetime, game of the week, 425. Chiefs at 49ers. Chiefs are 3-point favorites on the road, traveling west.
Niners are too injured for me to bet on them right now. So if I had to pick, I would take the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think
Mahomes is too good.
I'm riding with the Chiefs as well.
Yep.
We have an icky Sunday night football game. Pittsburgh Steelers at Miami. It looks like 2 is going to be back. Steelers are getting 7. Coming off a big win against the Bucks.
What are they saying about Pickett?
Did he get hurt yesterday?
Yeah, he got a concussion.
He's probably not going to play.
He probably won't play then.
Got a couple.
He probably won't play then.
So
with the direction that the league is going in.
And then Minka also missed the game against the Bucks.
Are they getting TJ Watt back anytime soon? Because it's
think
hard
for this game.
It's hard to say that I'm gonna bet against the Steelers at +7 if TJ Watt's in the game.
Where's the game?
At Miami.
I mean, that's going to be moot because the Steelers fans, they travel really well, so they'll invade that place down there in Miami. Yeah. I'll take the 7. I like that a lot too. The Steelers got off to a really poor start, but Mike Tomlin's never been below 500 in like 20 years as the Steelers coach. I understand they have questions at quarterback, but pretty good skill players, decent offensive line. They always seem to figure it out on defense. I think they get themselves back closer to the 500 mark.
I like the 7 as well in this situation. All right, and then just another just horrible primetime game on Monday night next week. Chicago, 2 straight primetime games. Chicago Bears at New England. Chicago's getting 7.5. And it looks like New England's getting right. I mean, they look good. I mean, Belichick's looking good.
Bailey Zappi.
Zappi's looking good.
Dude, I like that guy, man. He's a good player. He's better than Mac Jones. I'll say it right now. I love the Patriots here. What's that over-under at?
40. I might lock in the over.
That's low.
I mean, the Patriots, they put up points.
And then I have no problem laying 7.5. It's in Foxborough, right?
Yes.
So I got a Belichick defense against Justin Fields and that Chicago offense.
Yeah.
That I smell a shutout. Can you bet on if a game's going to be a shutout?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, you could bet on an astronomical.
Bet all the money. Bet all the money you have on the Patriots. It's a lot. I mean, the Bears are dreadful. They're absolutely terrible. I should have brought them up about the worst teams when I was talking about.
If you go New England minus 20.5, that's plus 390 on the alt line.
That's not enough.
All right,
plus 390. I mean, I think it's going to happen because I think the Bears stink and the Patriots are good. But I mean, plus 390. That's not enough for me to fire on that. There's no value there. Yeah. If it was like 550, I would nibble on it.
I mean, I think that's as far as they let you go.
But like the Jets were underdog. Like I got the Jets at plus 290 on the money line yesterday. They were 7-point dogs in Lambeau. So plus 390 for 20.5. Like that's stupid. That doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got some Sixers. Want some Sixers predictions? I think they're going to win the championship. If not this year, when for the process? Like, it's all hands on deck. It's now or never. We got to have a parade this year, or I don't think we're ever going to get one with this core.
Yep.
I'm all in on the Sixers.
I'll tell you one
Absolutely
thing.
all in.
I can't predict the championship just yet, but I will predict them finally getting out of the second round. Like, I think this is the year that they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And if that happens, it really is anyone's game with those Final Four teams in the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. So I do think they make it out of the semis. I don't know what's going to happen after that.
I like Harden. I think Harden has a big year. He's like 70-1 for MVP. I put $10 on it. I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna be healthy. I think he's gonna be more of a true point guard. I think he's gonna kind of reinvent his game a little bit and let Maxey take over. And I think Harden's gonna have a great year. So on the shoulders of James Harden, not Joel Embiid, the Sixers will host a parade this year down Broad Street. They have no choice. They have no choice. Because if you have another disaster in the playoffs this year, first off, Doc's gone. Who's the Sixers GM?
Morey.
Daryl Morey.
Yeah.
If you don't get out of the second year again, I'm firing both of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be a part of this organization. If you lose in the second round again, sorry, you can't be here anymore. You can't have a job with the Sixers anymore. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good luck. Just like if Jalen Hurts loses a home playoff game to the Dallas Cowboys, you can't be the quarterback here anymore. You lose. You're out. Sorry. Don't care how promising you are. Don't care how much everyone likes you. Can't play here anymore. Sixers, they don't have a choice. They got to do something, and the time is now. Harden took a pay cut for you. You bring in Tucker. You have Montrezl Harrell. You bring in DeAnthony Melton. You still have Tease. You still have a big four, really, with Embiid, Harris, Maxey, and Harden. So you have a loaded roster. There's no excuse. They don't have a choice.
I'm with
All
you.
right, go Sixers. Go Phillies. Eagles got the bye. Sixers and Phillies tomorrow. I think the
And
Sixers
Flyers.
and the Flyers are on. We'll get into the Flyers at a later date, but
2-0.
2-0, scoring goals. It's fun. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. Enjoy the games. Go Phillies, go Flyers. Thank you to everyone who commented on the show, shared the show. Thank you to our great sponsors at Gleason's Bar, All Campus, Manscaped, the ARIA Public Adjusting, Four-Star Doc, Make Them Yours Too, Dr. Paul Vidal. Until next Monday, peace out, everybody.
Peace.